Money decisions don't have to be either or. With Bank of America, they can be yes and. Like yes to sunny vacations and rainy day funds. Can our digital tools and guidance help you create the future you want? Yes. And help you keep enjoying today, too. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/yes and.
1, 2, 3, 4. Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome back to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. 31 Days of the Dead. Day 22. My friend Buddy is back with us again today to talk about Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, a movie with a very specific Venn diagram that I happen to fall into of Jane Austen fans and zombie movie fans. Buddy, do you fit into this Venn diagram? Do you care about Jane Austen at all? Or just zombies?
I did not fit into the Venn diagram as such, but I had just recently watched Bridgerton, the entire series,
Okay.
which is kind of set in the
Similar,
same vein.
period. Yeah.
Similar period. So yeah, I knew where I was coming from at least.
Okay.
And I enjoyed Bridgerton. I enjoyed Bridgerton, but I have not seen or read Pride and Prejudice.
I've read and seen multiple adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. And this one's actually pretty good. It is from 2000. It's from 2016, based on Seth Grahame-Smith's 2009 novel of the same name, which of course parodies the 1813 novel Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. The book is estimated to be like 85% Jane Austen and 15% Grahame-Smith. I think this movie is a little bit more 75-25 because there are some changes. I didn't reread the book for this, but I believe there are some changes from the book to the movie. Not as many as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's do our stats first. It is directed by Burr Steers, and the screenplay is by Burr Steers. The cast. Oh wait, let's see. The budget was $28 million, and the box office was $16.4 million. So that is disappointing. And it's 108 minutes in color, of course, and in English. The cast is Lily James as Elizabeth Bennet, Sam Riley as Mr. Darcy, Jack Houston as George Wickham, Bella Heathcote as Jane Bennet, Douglas Booth as Mr. Bingley, Matt Smith. This is our third movie with a Doctor Who actor in it. Matt Smith as Parson Collins, Charles Dance as Mr. Bennet, Lena Headley as Lady Catherine de Bourgh, Sally Phillips as Mrs. Bennet, Emma Greenwell as Caroline Bingley, Ellie Bamber as Lydia Bennet, Millie Brady as Mary Bennet, and Suki Waterhouse as Kitty Bennet. So, buddy, what are your initial thoughts here on Pride and Prejudice and zombies?
I think it's probably one of the best movies you've ever had me watch. I thought it was a really good movie. It was fun. I liked that even though it was a parody, they didn't go over the top. They didn't try to be comedic. They took the subject matter seriously, which was, better than if they were running around like, chickens with their head cut off or tried to make it a TNA or anything like that. No, they took it seriously, and they, had some respect for what they were doing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure parody is even the right word for what this is. I would just say mashup. Obviously it's kind of a funny idea to do that, and this led to a number of other similar things. The same publishing house, Quirk Books, that published this, followed up with Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters and
What?
Android Karenina. Yes. Not written by the same guy, but same publishers.
Yeah.
And Android Karenina, which was a mashup of Anna Karenina with robots in it.
I watched, of course, you already mentioned Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. That was a pretty cool movie, I thought.
Yeah. So Seth Grahame-Greene himself followed this up with Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And the book is fairly accurate, just like his book of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is fairly accurate, in that in the book, if it says Abraham Lincoln lived here at this year or visited this city at this time, all of that stuff is accurate. Obviously, the vampires are thrown in, but the things that are not vampires that are historical.
You mean vampires aren't real?
I mean, vampires are not real.
Oh my God, I quit.
But the movie version of that threw in a bunch of crazy stuff and also had him meeting Harriet Tubman. Abraham Lincoln never met Harriet Tubman, much less blew up a train full of vampires with Harriet Tubman. And similarly with this movie, the climax is not in the book. And I don't think any of the stuff about the zombies eating pig brain instead of human brain to try to remain human as possible. I think that stuff was all added to the movie to just make it more movie-like, to give it more of a conclusion and a climax.
Yeah. The intelligence level of the zombies was a little bit unzombie-ish to me, but still it didn't detract a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people get to make up their own rules. And these versions seem to be that you can kind of start changing slowly.
Yes.
But I thought one important element of this movie succeeding is that they tried to cast people who would be good for the parts if they were just doing a straight version of Pride and Prejudice.
That's very true, yeah.
Yeah, I think they really succeeded with that, especially with Matt Smith. I just loved his performance. And if you're not familiar with the source material, it might not be so obvious, but he would be perfect for that part if you were doing a straight version. Everybody else was good, but he was just absolutely perfect for that part, for playing that Weasley parson who cares more about his position in society than he does about spreading the word of Jesus and taking care of his flock.
Definitely, yeah. He was definitely a little bit secular in his worldview.
Yeah, way too concerned with worldly things for and worldly positions for Man of the Cloth. But that's the character in the book, and it was just great. It was great casting, great performance on his part. I really loved it. What, any parts in particular that you stood out to you, or performances?
I liked all the girls. I liked when the women first put their weapons, strapped their weapons.
Yeah.
I liked some of the slow walks. I've always been a fan of the slow hero walks where they're all walking together toward, those type of things. Really, I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's cool. So it kept me saying that's cool. And that's what I liked about it. I was like, wow, I can't believe that they took this seriously. I can't believe that the fight scenes look pretty cool. It could have been really bad, but it wasn't. And I think it's a shame that it didn't make more money, because it's a good movie.
Yeah. And the thing is, the book was a pretty big hit. So I think, they weren't wrong to think that the movie would be a big hit, but I guess that Venn diagram just isn't big enough.
Maybe so. Or they didn't market it right. I don't remember the marketing, so maybe they didn't market it right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty big in a bookstore. Anybody that's in a bookstore to begin with, there's a pretty good chance that they're familiar with Jane Austen. And there are zombie books in the bookstore.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And yet they decided to adapt Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. So I'm not going to bother looking up how well or badly that movie did right now. We'll save
I
that
might watch
for...
it. I might watch it when we get done with this. I might watch Abraham Lincoln again right after.
I particularly like the idea of, these zombies are problems. So instead of sending young girls to some kind of finishing school, we send them to get martial arts training.
Right. In China.
And
Tibet. Was it Tibet?
No. Well, the thing is, Japan is the popular, fashionable choice.
Oh,
but
and China is where they send them
China's the choice for people who are serious about it. So, yeah, the idea that Kung Fu is better than karate or Bushido or whatever, I like that. Just also the idea of the fashionable, that one place is more fashionable, but the other place is actually better if you're serious about it. And that these dum-dums are looking down on her for, oh, you didn't go to Japan, you went to China? Oh, how gauche. But of course, those dum-dums end up dead because they're not good enough. They probably didn't train hard enough. They were probably just put through some basics, but they didn't have to.
Fun. It's kind of fun that they've got this entire world that knows about zombies. They know zombies exist, but they're still trying to live this genteel lifestyle. Yeah. And they're still trying to be society's best and be about town. And, they're still trying to live in the Jane Austen world.
Yes.
While zombies are everywhere.
Well, I think we've seen that, I think, in a couple other movies, and I think there's a metaphor there for ignoring things like climate change or whatever. There's some big problem that needs to be dealt with, but nobody's dealing with it. They're just trying to go about their lives and pretend like nothing's wrong, and it doesn't work out well in the end. You have to address the problem.
As an analogy. I like that as an analogy for that. I had not thought of it myself, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, and it could apply to other things as well, but just ignore the problem and it'll go away. It's all, Mask of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe, where the nobles are having a party in their castle while the plague is raging through the countryside, thinking we'll be safe here and we'll just have our party and not worry about it. And of course the plague catches up with all of them in their in their castle as well. So it's not exactly a new idea, but it's always relevant. It's always relevant to whatever the current problem is.
Yeah, like Nero fiddling while Rome burned.
Yeah, you can't just ignore it. You got to deal with it. So yeah, they're all great. Everybody does a good job. A lot of these people have gone on to do plenty of other things.
Oh yeah, I've seen Lily James. I've seen Lily James and other things.
Can't remember what she's. Okay, she was in Downton Abbey, of course. I'm not that familiar with Sam Riley, and I don't know if he would have been my first choice for Darcy, but he did do a good job.
Yeah. Well, they all did, and I mean I think that's also a reflection on the director. Obviously, if they all do a good job, if he gets the best out of them, I think it was well directed.
What is his name? Colin. Is it Colin Firth?
That I couldn't tell you.
Yes. Okay. One of the most popular adaptations of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies features Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy. Sam Riley is just not a Colin Firth type. But Colin Firth is not a ruthless zombie hunter type either. So I think they were trying to make both things work. So let's see what else. So there's an idea in this film that this is another one of the zombies want brains movies. Not all zombies want brains, but these ones do.
Yeah.
And the idea in the movie, which I don't think is in the book, is you don't go full zombie until you get your first taste of human brains.
Right.
So there's this weird zombie church where they're satiating their desire for brains by giving them pig brains instead of human brains. And this keeps them from going full zombie and attacking people, and they maintain more of their intelligence and ability to speak and stuff by doing this.
Right. That reminds me of the tagline of the movie. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a zombie in possession of brains must be in want of more brains.
Yes, which is a paraphrase of the opening line of Pride and Prejudice. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife, which a lot of the book has to do with this guy that's got 5 daughters, trying to find husbands for his 5 daughters, because that can be an issue, and also because because of the dumb laws at the time, he can't pass his property on to his daughters. It has to go to a male heir. So this dumb cousin of theirs is gonna get it, unless one of them marries the cousin, because that kind of shit went on. Though it's not clear how close of a cousin he is. So,
and that's like I said, I haven't read Pride and Prejudice, but that's the same plot in Bridgerton. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same 4 seasons. It's 4 seasons worth of that plot.
I haven't watched Bridgerton, so maybe I should get around to that. I believe it is the same time period, though.
It is, yeah. I'm pretty. I instantly recognized that's what made me instantly recognize the setting that we were in. And so,
right.
And I really did. I thought they all did really, really good performances. It's just a shame it didn't do better.
Yeah, and the effects are all very good too.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, and we've been talking all season about how you can't just have good effects. Well, it's best when you have all 3. That a good script is the most important, but it's best when you have good script and good acting and good effects. And I'm willing to overlook the acting and the effects a little bit if there's a good script, but it's best to have all 3. I think this movie really does have all 3. It's based on Jane Austen, so it doesn't get much better than Jane Austen. So I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll tell you about it later, but I had an idea for one of these mashup things too, and maybe I need to go revisit it. But at the time, these were being very popular, and I was like, what have they not done? What could I do that they have not done? So maybe I need to get back on that.
Right.
I might have missed the boat. People might not care anymore. A few episodes ago, I did a movie with my sister, My Fair Zombie, which I thought was ripping this off. He came up with the idea. He claims he came up with the idea like a year before the book came out. So he didn't make it till years later, but it's exactly what you think it is if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Much lower budget, but still okay. Well, buddy, how many brains are you going to rate Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
You said out of 4, right?
No, out of 5.
Out of 5? I'll go ahead and this is the best movie you've had me watch so far. I've been doing this with you for 3 years now. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5 brains.
Okay. I think I'll give it 5 also. I think on a Universal movie scale, it might only be 4 stars, but as far as zombie movies, it's definitely 5 brains.
Yep.
So there you go. 4 stars, but 5 brains. Well, unless you've got anything else to say, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Nope. I think that's good. I can't wait till the next movie you have me watch. Hopefully you get to come back soon.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, folks, it's streaming on Peacock, or you can rent or buy it on any of the other things that you rent and buy things on.
And I know you're not going to get around to reviewing it, so stay away from Bigfoot versus zombies. It's horrible.
Okay. I was thinking I wasn't going to do an episode on it, but I was thinking of just watching it since you brought it up. But I shouldn't.
Even the zombie makeup is even inconsistent. They look like they're wearing masks in one part. They look more zombie-ish in another, and they got almost no makeup in other parts. And it jumps back and forth. Really inconsistent.
Oof. There seem to be a lot of Bigfoot movies happening right now. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know why Bigfoot's having a comeback right now. If you can explain it, please send us an email, send us a voicemail. If you enjoy the show, like and subscribe and rate and review on all the things. We're up on YouTube now. Go follow us on YouTube. We need to get above 500 subscribers on YouTube to start monetizing that shit. And I need to quit my day job. So go like us on YouTube. But that's going to do it for today. Until next time, I have been Precious D. With me has been Buddy F. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements. Please don't misuse science. We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. Okay, let's stop. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.